Hey there everyone, and welcome back to another video. Before we get into the main part, I'd like to announce a channel update. You probably noticed my avatar in the corner of the screen. I did this just to spice up the video. Alright, now with that out of the way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into Shinden Nakri's origin. Shinden grew up in his family's mercenary group. He was about below average in his mercenary skills. But when financial struggles hit his family, a rogue military group heard of this and made an offer. In exchange for a large amount of money, they had to hand over Shinden. This rogue group had plans to make an android, about similar to 17 and 18 from Dragon Ball Z. For his family, this wasn't a hard choice, since, like I said earlier, he was average. Once they got the money, they handed Shinden over to them, like handing someone's phone back to them. The rogue military group got to work in transforming Shinden into an android. The project's name was called the Thunder God Void Hunter android. Once he was complete, and before they could apply the brainwashing, Shinden woke up and completely wiped out the military group. Upon exiting their base, he found himself inside a hollow. Now, eventually, while stumbling through the hollow, he found a fissure that led him into one of the hollows that connected to Emil City. Once he went through there, he passed out. Now, sometime later, the Investigative Eye Detective Agency were in the middle of chasing a criminal through the hollow. The leader at the time, Milo Nakri, stumbled upon Shinden and got him out of there and took him back to the office. More time later, Shinden woke up. Upon seeing this, Milo made sure he was okay. Then Shinden recalled what had happened and told him. When Milo heard these things, he made a vow that this young man would not be left alone. Now, years later, Milo retired, and Shinden, who took his adopted father's last name, Nakri, became the lead detective and made sure that the city of Emil, the city that took him in and saved him, he would be sure to do the same for the city and its people. Alright, with his origin out of the way, now we can get into some design notes. Now, for his hair color, I decided to do a blonde color because I like the idea of a blonde character. And his eye color is purple. And an interesting detail I did for his eyes was his irises are little lightning bolts. And for his outfit, it's a button up shirt with very simple pants and metal boots. And all that is hidden underneath a trench coat. For facial features, I gave him those cyberpunk style lines underneath his eyes. Now, for his weapon and abilities, he has a new type of element called Purple Thunder. And since, like I said, the rogue military group turned him into an android, he has an android like body. And his attack type is a striking type, meaning he punches, and he's an anomaly type. Alright, with the design notes out of the way, we can now move on to my favorite part of this, the Q&A. Alright, the first question comes from Flo Ridas, and they ask, what is Shinden's interests? Well, when he's not solving crimes, he's either reading manga or helping out Emil City's orphanage by spending time with the kids. And now, another question from Gay Microshark. They asked, what is Shinden's backstory? I just went over that, so hopefully that answers your question, Gay Microshark. Now, here's a question from Boba at your service. What is Shinden's comfort food and his height? My guy, he's a short king at a height of 5'9", and his comfort food is mint chocolate chip ice cream. And now for the last question from Fida 2000 Italian Heavy Tank. What is Shinden's ultimate goal? While he's leading his faction, the Investigative Eye Detective Agency, he took interest in a group of vigilantes called the Kaiju Kids. Now, they're not like vigilantes like Daredevil or Spider Man. They're more like the type that use their abilities to help the community and fighting off punks and bullies. Shinden's goal now is to help to prepare these kids to be the next generations of protectors of Emil City, like the Investigative Eye Detective Agency. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.